the common mantras is carbohydrates and protein help you to build muscle. You can't just have protein alone. You need to replenish glycogen stores. That's our stored form of glucose in the body. But this comes with a major caveat. Keto adapted athletes have been shown to produce equal amounts of glycogen as carbohydrate adapted athletes. Once your body adapts to not having a lot of carbs, it's able to produce carbs. It can go through gluconeogenesis and glycogenesis and produce sugar and produce stored form of sugar so that you have energy for your workouts. Now what happens is if we run out of sugar, and this is kind of the hypothesis behind it, if you run out of glycogen during the workout, you're doing this intense high intensity workout and you run out of those glycogen stores, and you know if you're getting oxygen, it's going to go from glucose to fat, then to protein. So you don't really have as much to worry about there. But if you're doing a workout where you're not getting ample amounts of oxygen, then it's going to go from glucose right to amino acids because it requires oxygen in aerobic respiration to break down fat, right? And so, how do we get around this? Well, our body is going to produce, like we just said, ample amounts of glucose. This is more for like the lifter, right? It's going to produce ample amounts from, breaking down fat and then getting basic constituents from that and putting them into the cycle so that it can promote the production of glucose. It can do the same thing for breaking down protein and amino acids. But again, it's not going to go to the protein until it has gone to the fat. But then what do we do in that case, Shane, that you just talked about where there's not much oxygen? And so it is going to go to the protein. And there aren't a lot of glycogen stores that I have. What happens? Well, if you have something like creatine is in the phosphagen pathway. And your body will utilize that even before it'll go into the aerobic breakdown of sugar, right? Even anaerobic, I'm pretty sure. So you can use up that creatine instead of using up all of your sugar stores, all of your glycogen stores. And so creatine supplementation is shown to spare glycogen stores. That's one way that it gives you a lot of energy in ATP. It's an osmolate. It helps to hydrate cells. It promotes the production of IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor. It's a myostatin inhibitor that inhibits muscle cell proliferation, helps your muscles to grow, promotes the production of new satellite muscle cells, more muscle cells. All that stuff's great that creatine does. But it also simply gives you energy so that you don't have to delve into glycogen stores to get that energy. And so there is a way around having tons of carbs. Now, having said that, you do always have to remember the process of building muscle, right, also requires energy, right? And so what your body is going to look to first are those carb stores. And it does not hurt. You don't have to be totally keto, where after the workout, you can have some carbs. Try 40% of your body weight in grams within 45 minutes after the workout. Make those the only carbs you eat all day. I don't care. That's fine. Personally, I don't have many carbs, and I feel great. I've had muscle growth, great results. I stay in good shape, and I feel good. My body is keto adapted for the most part. I have a type of modified carnivore diet where I still have, important soluble fiber and the vegetables that I need to have. But you don't need tons of carbs, right? Now that especially would be more important to have high carb loads for people that are doing marathons, people that are doing triathlons, people that, if you're the basic person that goes to the gym and you work out for an hour and you lay on the bench and you do some bench press and then you go over to this and you do that. Now, there's anything wrong with all that. All that is perfectly fine. I have days like that too, right? But, work out really hard when I do it, but drop sets at the end and stuff. You don't need a crazy amount of carbs. So that's the message for today. There is a way around it. You look up online and you see all these sources. They say it is necessary to eat carbohydrates to replenish glycogen. Directly at the moment, well, yeah. Your body, whatever it's not going to use, it's going to store either as fat or as glycogen, right? If it has room to store some glycogen, it will. And especially after your workout, your muscles are like sponges. It's going to soak that up. It's going to store it as glycogen. So it's great. Now, but you can make your major energy source healthy fats in general. Have a lot of meat, and you can be plenty strong and big. You don't need all those carbs. Right? So that's our message for today. And creatine, again, is a great supplement. Creatine monohydrate. It's cheap. It's the best proven supplement for improving power, boosting power output, improving exercise performance. It's backed by strong evidence over years and years. And you find it naturally in things like meat and fish, and our bodies even make some of it. But we don't make huge amounts of this amino acid, and they're not huge amounts in the meat and fish, right? In terms of what we would supplement, which is typically anywhere from 3 to 5 grams a day. You can load it and take 25 grams a day, over 5 different doses of 5 grams for like 7 to 10 days if you've never taken it, right? It's a typical loading recommendation. So, happy birthday, Martin Santise. Happy birthday, man. I love you, dude. I hope you had an awesome day. And, I see you've been growing. You're still growing, man. Martin deals with type 1 diabetes, so anybody who knows anyone with type 1 diabetes, Martin Santise is on Instagram. He is absolutely fantastic. He really knows his stuff, and he's helped a lot of people. Maybe he could help, some of you out there, or someone. I would be happy to answer any questions about diabetes too. But he does this. He specializes in type 1 diabetes, so he's a good guy to talk to. But you pretty much, I guess it's a lifelong battle, right? We've talked about this, and you never beat it, but you are beating it. You are, because of how you're living and what you do every day, and your fearlessness and your ability to just conquer everything that's in front of you, man, and your drive. I respect and I love about you, and I'm so glad that you're like that. And I hope you have the best year this year. This one's your day in the book of Len Wellness. So happy birthday, brother. This one's for you. There you go. Now you don't need tons of carbs with your workout. How you guys doing? Exotic Rebecca, you gotta always remember, in simple, guys, our body adapts to what we have. I mean, you look back look evolutionarily, hunter-gatherer days. If we only found meat for days and days, you think our body's gonna figure out a way to, and weeks and whatever, times of year where berries are not available. They weren't available all year. Those are carbs. They weren't available all year. You can't grow grain in every part of the year in a lot of the climates. Some you can, but a lot of them you can't, right? And so you're limited. Maybe you're limited to sources of fat that are in nature. What animals are really made up of all carbs, right? Majorly with animals, it's protein and fat, right? Is what we think of. So your body will adapt. If it needs carbohydrates to produce them from basic constituents that it gets from breaking down other things, right? And it doesn't necessarily need to be protein. It could be fat. And so, it's fascinating, and it's true, right? Guillermo, hey, absolutely. Hey, my pleasure. Thanks. Kokor, how you doing? But I still recommend having some of those carbs right after the workout. Doesn't hurt. Give your body some more glycogen to take on the next workout, and you don't have to rely on it producing it endogenously as much, even though, it still may do that to some degree. This is especially for people who do really, really intense workouts, right? And if there's one time a day you're going to have a baby, it's right after. So there you go. And the creatine would be nice. You could have it many different times throughout the day, but taking it on off days too. But having it before would be pretty good, because one will give you energy, within like an hour of your workout. Two, it's, going to help you build muscle. It's going to help give you energy during the workout, so that when you run out of other things, you can use that. You use that first, and then you can go to other things. Either way, however the order was, it's going to help you spare other sources of energy, and you're not going to need as much of them. So I would take the creatine before the workout. I was thinking in my head as I paused of the half-life. I think it's like 3 hours for creatine. So I think it'll be in your system around like 6 hours. Yeah. So the half-life. Yeah. How long it takes for half to get degraded. Yeah. Luciano, it's me, bitches. Hannah Soul. What up, Eric E? Hunky Monkey. Hunky Monkey. I like that. Ma, I love you. What's up? Nate, the timing is important. No, with the workout. Yeah, what I was kind of getting at more is that, the amount. It's more, what's most important is the type of exercise you do. And what's most important is getting enough protein and eating a lot of healthy fats. For body composition, that's the most important. Hands down. And working out hard. But you should have those carbs right after the workout. Really as soon as you can with protein. Right? They say a 2-to-1 ratio, carbs to protein. They say a 3-to-1 after a workout for someone that's, does like really intense stuff, like running a long time and, these endurance athletes and stuff like that do it every day, But personally, I've had a higher protein ratio and I've had really fantastic results. I know other people that have too. So I don't think that's totally true, to be honest. Try to debunk that one today. Tor Richardson, my man, sent you a little something today, you know what I'm saying? Hey, the good stuff, natural, fantastic for you. We haven't even mentioned it here yet because we're waiting for the units to come in, but I hope you like it. Almighty Gianni, Mano Salva. Star, what up? Tor, I'm doing great, man. Van Wilderness, what up, Tom? How you doing, brother? Javarin, Al Tony in the hizzle. What's up, my man? This man's a beast. Check out Tony Williams. The guy's an absolute animal. Thanks for coming on, brother. Luciano Bros. We said hi. 07 Ma. Omar Arias. Brandon Kurt. KH321 Hot Since 89. That's my man Malcolm. How you doing? Yasmin. And the first one on, Tech Mike and Jay. Thank you for hopping on, my friend. This one as well is for you. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. It's all we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have a great one. Thanks so much. Happy birthday, Martin. Happy When Wellness. We'll see you.